the ladies who are over 40, I honestly believe applying your makeup with a magnifying mirror is the best advantage you could have. So what I will do is I will start with my oh snap, sorry, I need to clean this mirror, my thing got on it. Yeah, I will start with my medium shade, and I'm not ashamed to show you guys my makeup. And as you can see, this is the color. These are the colors that I use on myself more, because the reason why I go with these kinds of tones is because it looks more natural. It blends better with my undertones and it photographs amazingly well. Alright, so I'm using a brush that looks like this. It's very small because the tools are also very important, and I'm going in with the tip and trying to get whatever is here. So, and I always have some tissue close by, so what I will do is just blot off the excess. And I'm going to start from the middle of the eye. Alright, so let me see how I'm doing this so that you guys can see me. And I'm going to tap. I'm starting from the middle, because the other thing about eyeshadow is, like for example, if I start all the way out and I have too much, it's going to be difficult for me to wipe it off. So it's always better to start from the center of the eye, and then you just work right across. So I am on top of my eyeball, and I'm just going to create the line where I want this transition to happen. So you guys are seeing, right? So I'm going to show you the next color I'm going to go in with. So it's like I'm just creating the outline right here, so it goes right over. And if you notice how I'm using my brush, I'm not allowing it to flick, so I'm keeping it flat on the skin, and I'm just going to sweep it gently to kind of start a blend. Right, so I've been working with like a few shades to come up with this look that I have here. So the next color I'm going to go in with is this. It's a kind of like a wineish color brown, and I like this because this too, it's not too dark and it gives me the depth that I'm also looking for. So let me see what Gloria's comment is. Great stuff. However, I hope you will give classes. Yes, I am very open to giving classes. You know, I've always been open to giving classes. I actually always do classes, but most women right, so I'm gonna go across here again, because having a one-on-one experience is always the best, and I'm a great teacher. I will hold your hand if I have to. So once you're willing to invest your time and your money, I'm going to come a little closer. I don't know why I'm not seeing right. Right, so this is it right here. Good. So this is the deeper color after the medium one, and I'm going around because I want to kind of give my eyes a nice shape too. So after I was done with that, the next thing that I did was, and ladies, when you're going to use multiple colors, I advise you to have at least one brush for every color. Here is why. If you go into the colors with the same brush, what will happen is you will no longer have clarity in terms of your color, and everything will just look nasty. There will be no definition. So I'm going to go in with another crease brush that looks like this one, and I'm going to use this color right here. Blot off the excess. I'm going like right to the top of the crease color. So what I'm doing right now is I'm blending it and I'm preparing the color so that you'll see a little oof of the orangey color coming up to the top. See what I'm saying? Alright, so that's it. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is I have a clean brush that I refer to this brush as my blending brush. So I'm going to go right over to the top. I'm not going into the color so much. So I'm just going to frizz out the edge. And the last thing I'm going to do to the top before I start getting into the smoky kind of vibe, from the same palette, I'm going in with the lighter shade. I prefer not to use shimmery colors on my brow bone because what it does, it attracts too much light, and also it will bounce back a reflection in your photos. So you don't want, when you look at yourself, all you're seeing is eyeshadow. It should have a nice, really smooth transition. And I prefer to pat my colors in. And if you notice too, this also acts when you use the shadow, a lighter shadow on the eyebrow bone. It also, hi Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a while since I've seen you live. I am grateful that you're here. So yes, so using a lighter color under the brow bone area also acts as a you know how they use the concealer to kind of define the eyes? With the eyeshadow, you don't need to. For somebody who don't have the time to go into all that stuff, you can do your eyeshadow. So I'm just blending it so there's no lines between, because I already have on 3 shades. There's no line between. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go right into smoking the eye. All right, so, and I use like 2 shades of green. It's a little bit warm today, but I feel like I want to have to do it open. So the first shade I'm working with is this one, and then I'm going to go in with a green that is deeper than this. So remember, I spoke to you earlier, I brought it to your attention about the area from your inner crease, inner corner, all the way over to your iris. So this is exactly where this color, and I picked it up on my finger for a reason, because I believe some colors, they're so pigmented, it's easier to just like apply it with a finger because you don't want to, and I press it into the skin, and it is so pigmented, it goes on absolutely flawless. And then I don't have all this one second, I don't have all this fallouts to deal with. Right. But just to be safe, always tap off the excess so that you don't get a lot of fallouts. So I'm pressing. I'm a big fan of applying makeup with my fingers. Alright, so I keep tapping, and then remember I spoke to you about my crease, and remember I already have the crease color, crease transition color as they will call it on. So I am bringing this up, not to interfere with that transition, but just to kind of fuse it and bring it all together. So I'm going to make sure that I clean my fingers, and now I'm going to go in with my brush. And the best way to bring this together, because I know a lot of women say, when they try to do a smoky eye, they almost end up looking like if somebody hit them in the eyes because they get it too far. Um, Applying eye makeup is just like when you're coloring in a book. You remember back in the day when you had your coloring pencils and you had your those little, it came already drawn and you had to kind of shade in the color. That's exactly how it is with applying eye makeup. You just gotta imagine where the lines are and stay within the line. Once you understand what you're gonna do, you would have absolutely no problems. So don't forget, share with somebody, tag a friend. Let's get fabulous live information out there. Right. So what I did, because I had some color on the brush, I tap it off over the wider area, and now I'm gonna come up a little bit and I'm going to blend it, but I'm gonna blend it down because I don't want this to get up. And if you notice the way how I use my brush, I apply the color on one side, so the other side of the brush is clean. So if I want to use this side as the blend, I can, because color is only on one side. So you have to be very strategic with how you use your tools as well. So you notice I just apply the color over from my inner corner to the iris. So I'm going to add a different shade of green, which is going to be deeper than this one, to just add the depth. Alright, so, and I'm using another brush. So for my friends out there who like to just use one brush and dip into everything, and it's always say, oh, you get to see everything. Yes, I do, because your makeup look cleaner when you take your time and you apply it. And the trick to it is always to understand exactly what you do and why you do it. Thank you, Jennifer. So I had this. This is a kit that I had for like forever moons, and like you see, these are my favorite tones to use on myself. So this is the shade of green that I'm going to go in with, this one like right here. So, and I'm using a slanted edge brush, and I am not going to use the tip because I'm not going to line. So I'm using the side of the brush. This shadow is very pigmented, so I will now start from the outer corner of the eye. I'm starting from the crease of the eye, not the crease, the lid, and then I'm pressing, and then I'll work it all the way up. So I blot off the majority of the color, and then I'll just work it up. So by the time I get up here, there is not much product left on the brush, so if I make any mistakes, it'll be easier for me to clean it up. Great, so let's go in there and get some more. So what's popping, y'all? I don't know if you guys saw the introduction, and I mentioned in it that I started this 21-day challenge, and one of the questions that it asked was for you to make a list of 50 people who have influenced your personal growth and development. Have you ever thought about that? And for me personally, I thought it would have been difficult, but I made a list of 50 people so quickly, and it made me realize that, you know, they have to say no man is an island. We really cannot do what we have to do on our own by ourselves. There's always the resource of people in your life, and we will get into a little bit more. Let me just finish up my eye. So what I'm doing right now is that I took the color that I use here is what I'm using at the bottom, just to give myself a little edge and add some definition to the bottom of my eyes. The thing that I love most about using these types of brushes and shadows is you can actually use an eyeshadow to line your eyes. It don't always necessarily have to be a pencil. And these types of brushes is perfect for lining. You can also use this to shape your eyebrow as well. So how is the week going so far for you? Anything exciting happened this week? Anything you want to share that you want to say you're grateful for? If you do, then just pop it in the comments so that I can read it afterwards. The disadvantage that we have is that I can't always see all of the comments as they pop up live. But don't worry, soon come, I will fix that. So what I'm doing now is just to make sure that I have like I shape it a little bit. Now, to give this a little bit more drama, I'm going to use this side of the brush with a black, and I will tap it. This is the black that I'm using. So at first I use if you notice, I use the flat part of the brush to apply the color. Now I'm using the brush like so, this way. So I'm using it as a liner now. And I am going to go as close to my lash line as possible just to create depth, okay? Alright. So immediately this brings the whole smoky vibe together. So smoky eyes it doesn't have to necessarily be dark from the lid all the way up to the brow bone. So once you get that misconception out of your head, you will be able to do this. And then of course there are softer versions of the same look as well. Right, so that's basically it. And the next thing that I'm going to, so I don't have to blend anything because I already did that. So the only thing that I have to do now is apply some mascara, pop on the lash, and I used this green pencil to kind of like rim the inside of the waterline. And here's the thing about eyeshadow color that I want to bring to your attention. Don't just grab anything and throw it on there. What is the color of your eye? And it all depends on the color of your eyes. You should be choosing colors that will complement your eye color. Like for example, this green that I'm wearing right now, my eyes are brown. It's not a light brown. I think it's more like a medium brown. And when I apply certain colors around it, it just makes it look lighter. And that's what it is. So if you have like hazel color eyes, colors like wines and browns and purples will make the color of your eyes look even richer. So that's why I refer to this as redefining beauty, because I want you guys to be able to understand that makeup is, you don't just pick up makeup and throw it on because of throwing it on sake. You can wear makeup with purpose. The colors that you wear could complement your skin tone. It adds and it makes you look even nicer. Alright? So makeup don't have to look like makeup. Alright? So I am going to rim the waterline with this shade of green. And I'm bringing it down between the lash line as well, because I want to create this whole, you know, makeup is art, right? So I have these 3-4 different shades of green going on, and I place it in the right place and it just would add. Yes, I'm wearing green, but I don't necessarily have to compete with the color that I'm wearing, and that is the one thing I personally don't like with makeup. I don't want my makeup to compete with what you're wearing. It should just enhance. So when I look at you, everything should just kind of blend in and fuse, and it should be like, hey Abigail, how are you, my love? My beautiful chocolate ebony brown sister, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. You need to fix that. So with the mascara, what I'm doing, because it's kind of fairly new, and I found that when a mascara is new, it's always better to either wipe off the excess or blot it off in between some tissue so that you can yeah, I know how it goes, but thank God you have a job, girl. I have to wait on this crazy season that we are in before I can start working again. So I am doing this so I can maintain my sanity. So that's what this is about. And at the same time, you guys are getting an opportunity to see what I can do, so you can book your makeup classes, tell a friend about me. If you have a birthday coming up and you want to do something really special for whether it's your friend, yourself, I can fix you up. Just pay me what I ask you and I will make your day so special. I can even take some pictures for you too. So that's one of the things that I offer. And mascara is so important because what mascara does, it pulls the look together, because mascara is another way to define and create depth to the look that you just finished. Like for example, this is a really black mascara that I'm using. Had I gone with a brown mascara, it would have definitely changed the look, because the brown would not add any depth. And because I want to do, it's a smoky eye vibe that I'm going for, the darker it looks close to the lash line is the more smoky and sultry overall finish would be. Right? So that's the this is just one coat. I like to pop my eyes in mascara because I barely have lashes. So I apply sometimes 2 to 3 coats, but I wouldn't put 3 coats because I am going to do lashes on top. And these lashes are very dramatic. I think this is the most dramatic I've ever worn. So yes, so this is what lash looks like in the pack. Lash looks like it. So I have to put on my glasses to read. A touch of blue on my waterline makes my eye pop. Yes, I'm happy that you know that. So whenever you do your makeup, always make your observations as to which color worked best for you, what textures are best for you as well too, because not everything is for everybody. And while I know there are some makeup, I'm not knocking anyone, while I know there are some makeup artists, they seem to enjoy using color like kaleidoscope. Anytime, don't take my word for it, just try it. Anytime you go over using more than 3 or 4 colors, it is too much. It's cost scale. And the other thing that you really have to learn to master when you're going to start using 3 or 4 or 5 colors is not that you can't use more than 3 or 4. However, what we see sometimes is that you have all these primary colors clashing with each other. Like for example, I am wearing this bright green top, and then a makeup artist is going to put this green, they're going to put blue, they're going to put yellow, they're going to put orange, they'll put pink, and oh my god, it's just going to be like a hot mess. And what it does, it makes you look older because you have on too much eye makeup and there's just too many colors clashing. So I would say, for those of you, when you come and do my class, I will talk about all of that. What you need to do is look at the color wheel and make the observation as to how colors complement and coordinate with each other. And like I said, it's all about your placement, your blending, and the whole, oops, I don't think I brought it, my applicator. Let's see what happens here. So everybody there, did I lose anyone? Did you invite a friend? So in the meantime, what I want you to think about is what I'll do first. I'm going to share an oath of manifestation, and I will probably definitely leave it on my walls. If you want to copy it for yourself, you can do that. But one of the things that I wanted to really touch on is the fact that in our journey, whether we are just casually going about our business or whether we are intentional about it, relationships are very important. And as Errol said, the last conversation I had with Errol Fabian was so powerful. He said something very phenomenal. He said, really, you always start in relationships, even if you are passing and you see somebody beside the road and you just smile at them, that's a connection you made with the other person. And a lot of times we don't understand how powerful a connection like that starts.